We got two of the things marked off the checklist on Change and Challenge, and we're going to share them with you right now. First, I want to give a shout out. A shout out to two companies I dealt with. These guys here from Michigan, Lincoln Park, Michigan, Shaftmasters. I bought a custom ordered. I told them the length I wanted, and they made this and balanced and had it to me, and I'm not lying, 3 or 4 days. Unbelievable how fast they shipped. I had a question about the size of U-joint yoke they used on the ends. I called, boom, they answered their phone, which is important to me, and I got the information I needed. Second of all, the second people is Denny's. From Denny's, I bought a 904 yoke that had 1330 U-joint. So this U-joint up front is a 1330 squared. That's what it is. Thumbs up to them guys for fast shipping. Actually, I talked to both those guys on the phone. Extremely fast shipping. And these guys had Denny's had the parts in place, and of course, Shaftmasters, they custom make it per order. Oh, another thing about Shaftmaster drive shafts. Your standard drive shaft is, I think it's 83 thousandths thick tubing they use. And for these guys, I had a choice of the standard 83 thousandths or 95 thousandths thick. So I went with a 95 thousandths thick. Added about 12 more thousandths of thickness of steel for sturdiness. Didn't cost any more. Their prices are really cheap. I don't want to say what I paid for the simple reason if they put their prices up in 2 months because of inflation and that sort of thing. You know, then you go to their website and you're like, oh, it's not what 318 will run said. So this is the finished product back here. And as you can see, we got traction bars on there, and we're using those for our shock mounts. So even though that wasn't part of the checklist, we added a cool factor, and it'll help some in traction regardless of the popular or unpopular belief. This hasn't run since the last time we brought it out here. I don't know when that was. Was that November? So it's been sitting about 5 or 6 months. Poured a little gas in the carburetor. Poof, right off. Anyways, two of the things that we wanted to do was looks. We wanted the wider rear end, the wider stance. We wanted wider tires to get rid of that. If you remember, I did the look. This would be the rear end, this would be the front. The front tires were wider than the back, and just didn't like it. So we accomplished this, and I'll show you. And then we know we accomplished this, cruising with relaxation, because I put 294 gears in. I don't even have to test that. But what we can do is we can test the stance. As you can see now, we no longer have that backwards three-wheeler look. We got wider tires on the back. The back tires are sticking out as far as the front, and they're filling out the wheel well. That's just what we wanted. I'll do a little side-by-side comparison. Just focus on the rear wheel well and the front tire. You can just really see the difference. The thing is obviously, if you've been following along, if not, there's a playlist on Change and Challenge Duster. We put a B-body rear end in there, a 1965 to a 1967, so a little bit narrower, fits the A-bodies beautifully. She got all new brakes, brake drums. We put the new drive shaft on, new U-bolts. It's got traction bars on it now, which I'll have to play around and adjust. We also got rid of the pizza slicers and went to the 235/60s. This is how I really like Dusters to look in the back. The wheel wells filled out. Unfortunately, there is a downside and there's some plus sides that we didn't really talk about. The 8 3/4 is a much stronger rear end than the 7 1/4 that we took out, so we added a lot of strength. The drive shaft is bigger around, it's got thicker steel, it's much stronger. We added a lot of beef when it comes to strength to this car. The negative side is this. These goals, 20 mile per gallon and 13.99. We are trying to get there, and adding weight is not the way to do it, especially rotating weight. And we probably added, with the drive shaft, the brake drums, the axles, the ring and pinion gear, I bet we added real close to 40 pounds of rotating weight, which is the worst weight you can add. Altogether, we probably added a total of 55, 60 pounds, maybe 70 pounds. Oh, not just that, but the tires. We now, instead of the 14-inch pizza slicers, we got a 15-inch rim on the back and a wider tire. So we probably added 8 pounds per tire too. We also added more braking. We went from the 1.5 by 9-inch brake pads and skinny drums to the, what is it, 2.5 or 2 1/4, whatever it is. Maybe it's 2 by 10, whatever. Too many things on my mind. It was a nice win for us. We'll just have to work a little bit harder to obtain our 20 mile per gallon 13.99. Not much. What I'm going to show you is just the traction in action, the traction bars. So I'm just going to have you film right here and just watch the back end of the car raise up when I just brake torque it. So you ask what's next? Well, we didn't write it on the list, but if you watch the first episode, we were going to put new carpet in it and have the front seat reupholstered. Not to make it show, just to make it more livable to sit in and drive. So that's what's next for this. After we do the carpet and the seat, then we're going to start on the engine that we're hoping that will run the 13.99 and get us 20 miles per gallon. That should be fun. You'll have to let us know how you like it in the comments below. If you think we did the right thing and you think it looks better, tell us about it. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.